So what is neck ka gyan? We can't see.
This is the presenter's mode.
That's right. Is but हाँ पढ़ा आपको यहाँ पढ़ेगा नेहल नहीं है तो you have to no, so I'm going to start. I don't want to shoot up the time. So I love the quote. We can have this, I guess. It's not very clear. It's a little grainy, but that's okay. We're talking about incisions. So there's a book called Cleft Craft by Ralph Miller, and I remember reading a quote. It says 7 times 7. Turn the knife in your hand before you cut the skin of a fellow man. The 7 times 7 is 49 times you need to think. Think hard before you cut. We have the honor and the privilege to be surgeons. We should use it judiciously. It helps to be versatile. You should know all the incisions, use it judiciously. You may have to use multiple incisions depending on the situation. So you can't say that I'm going to give only one incision. You can't be only a robotic surgeon or only a surgeon who gives a Schobinger or only a single transverse incision surgeon. You have to be versatile. That is extremely important. There is no controversy in that. Beware the trap of one-upmanship. If he is giving a Schobinger, I want to give a single neck crease incision. If Ashay is doing a robotic retroauricular, then he is doing, Baba. So you have to decide what is good for your patient. That is, and what is good for the pathology. Okay, that is extremely important. So don't be in the trap of one-upmanship. Utilize your incision fully. This thing has been told to us in the morning by different surgeons differently. That if you are giving a 2 centimeter incision, your yield should be at least 2 centimeter or more. It should be 2, 4, 6. But you can't give a 2 centimeter skin incision and then work at 1 centimeter. Small incisions can give big exposures. We've seen robotic surgery example, laparoscopic surgery. Stretching a small incision, Dr. Sonal has said, if you give a small incision, stretch it, it is not good, it will give a traction injury. Respect the Langer lines. Whenever possible, respect the Langer lines. And there is something which is known as a straight line contracture. So if you are going against this, especially against the resting skin tension lines, the Langer lines, you will have a contracture. So you have to make a small V or known as chevron or have a gentle curve. And curves are natural. So whenever possible, don't have a straight, right angles any incision. Tend to have a curvy linear incision. So this is a Schobinger incision. This is something on a personal front. I have 15-20 years probably not given this incision, but it's a good incision. It's a great teaching incision. It gives a fantastic exposure of the neck. And we have to, as Dr. Sonal again said, this is a cancer surgery. The first is to get rid of the disease. So again, a fantastic incision, and it's been explained that your bifurcation should be posterior to the carotid, so that if it breaks, your carotid is not exposed. Never give it post radiation. Other was an apron flap. So this was also something which used to give a fantastic exposure. And not used because of the long apron flap, you will have a webbing and a contracture. But if you know that incision, this is a case in point. In this gentleman, there was a big stuck lymph node at the level 4 area. We had to, do a full neck. The carotid sheath had to be shaved off with a knife, and you want one incision which is opening everything. So that apron flap can be useful in such kind of situations. Hockey stick incision. Again, not a very popular incision. This is a case where there was a recurrent lesion. This patient has been treated with chemoradiation. The neck is plastered. You can't give any vertical incision, it will break down. You can't even do a horizontal incision because you require access. So a hockey stick will open everything. The McPhee is again a popular incision. If you want to do the full neck, you want to sacrifice the sternocleidomastoid, then it's a good incision. The McPhee incision, the scarring is almost negligible. The small horizontal incision is doesn't leave any scar and gives great access to the full neck. Earlier I used to give a 90 degrees. Now with time in the Indian skin we have lot of scar contracture over here, so we need to then I have decided to give a curvilinear incision. The incision since last I think 2007 or 8 I've been increasingly giving is a single transverse incision. This is an incision which will give you access to all the levels of the neck. The level 5 will require an extra effort, but you can easily do 1, 2, 3, 4. So the scar is in the neck crease. So the same incision you can use for a marginal mandibulectomy also. So the same single neck incision, you can clear the neck and then you can do a marginal mandibulectomy. So you can see the reciprocating saw working. Pardon? No, it's very grainy, I know for some reason, but I think go ahead. I'll have to think for tomorrow's presentation. And you can see that horizontal incision leaves no scar. Also, you need to keep an account that you are dealing with cancer, and exposure and cancer clearance is extremely important. Pathology will talk to you. You need to listen to it. Pathology is whispering, and if you don't listen, it tries to shout at you. Okay, so it's whispering to you that you need to be radical. In such cases, the resting skin tension lines will get a second preference. Okay, but whenever you give a straight incision, you need to curve it to minimize the contraction. With this, everything opens like a book. And once you have mastered, this art, the same thing which you're doing a benign pathology, the same thing you have to extrapolate. This is an ameloblastoma with a single neck crease incision, and you can do the surgery, and there's no scar. If it's a benign tumor like a lipoma also, see it's not very clear, but the tumor is over here and we are giving the incision in the neck crease. So the principle is don't create a crease. You need to respect the crease, you need to give the incision in the neck crease. And you need to be versatile. In this case, there was an occult primary, big node stuck over here, coming out from the skin. We gave neoadjuvant chemotherapy, gave chemotherapy before the surgery. Didn't respond much, and then we had to excise the entire thing and slide in the pectoralis major muscle. So you need to be innovative with your incisions. You need to see what kind of reconstruction you have done in. And lastly, if you get a scar contracture, a Z-plasty done under local anesthesia, small procedure, will lengthen the scar, break the scar. It's a surgeon's true friend. And I enjoy the music. Work with good people, with good intentions, in good setups. And as Sonal said, thoda dheere, tharao, everybody is young and enthusiastic. Everything will fall in place. Thoda tharao rakho. Things will take time, but they'll all be fine. Thank you.